Hey guys, it's RC. I'm back with another edition of WWCF Radio, and we have just reached the conclusion of our regular season. The playoffs have been determined on who is advancing and who is not. So let's dive in and take a look at where we are at in the 2025 season, the 26th year of WWCF football. We'll start off with the awards. We'll cover the national awards. Jacob Garvey, first team. Well, let's look at the awards first. And Garvey of Maryland, the Heisman Trophy winner, 7,094 yards, 48 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's sick. I mean, when teams know what you're going to try to do and they still can't stop you, and you throw for 7,000 yards, that's sick. That's sick. Career. I mean, he's only played 2 years and he's got 9,100 yards. He started 2 games last year. And he's got 65 touchdowns for his career. And he'll win 2 more Heisman trophies moving forward unless he leaves after his junior season for the pros. That's as sure as tax day's April 15th in the U.S. Jacob Garvey will win the Heisman next year, barring an injury. The Chuck Bednarik Award goes to Brad Griffin out of Louisiana Monroe. 107 tackles, 77 solo, 30 assists, 1 sack, 8 forced fumbles, 9 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery. The Davy O'Brien Award, best quarterback in the country, well, that goes to Garvey. The Doak Walker for the best running back, Joshua Janes of Georgia. The 5'9 junior, 1,923 yards, 20 touchdowns. He added 70 receptions for 664 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. The Fred Biletnikoff Award, Marcus Jenkins of Rutgers. Who says Rutgers is a run-first program? 75 catches, just shy of 1,400 yards, 301 yards after the catch, 8 touchdowns, just 1 drop in 113 attempts. Not a bad season for the 5'10 senior. The John Mackey Award for the best tight end in the country, Sam Price from my Texas Longhorns. I'm looking at my lizard here. He's turned sideways trying to get through a crack in his house. That's pretty funny. 62 catches, just over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 drops. He tossed in 7 pancakes and allowed 1 sack while blocking, and was called for holding just twice. Only 10 starts. He was injured for part of the season. The Vince Lombardi Award for the best offensive lineman, Mike Waldron, center from Texas Tech. 36 key run blocks, 29 pancakes, and 1 sack allowed. The Outland Trophy for the best defensive lineman goes to Clayton Scott of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 6'7 sophomore defensive end, 34 tackles, 30 solo, 14 sacks, 8 stuffs, 17 hurries, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception from his edge rush position. The Dick Butkus Award, Best Linebacker in the Country. This was an award that I used to own back in the day, and I have not sniffed it in a while. Kyle Stewart of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 99 tackles, 76 solo, 11 sacks, 18 stuffs, 4 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 8 interceptions for the inside linebacker. Jim Thorpe Award also goes to Brad Griffin. We've covered him out of Louisiana Monroe. The best kicker, Lou Grozo Award, Eldridge Elkins from Oregon. He was 47 of 50 on extra points, 40 of 45 on field goals, hit 7 of 8 from beyond 50. Not bad at all. Only a sophomore. The Ray Guy Award goes to Vince Luciani, Bill's second cousin, once removed, I think, from Michigan State. 85 punts, a 43-yard average, 35.5 net average, 5 touchbacks, and 22 inside the coffin corner. Did not have a punt blocked all season, so very good for him. Mosi Tatupu Award, Alabama's Matt Bryan. This is a return award. 27 kick returns, 524 yards, 19.4 average, and 14 touchdowns. Is that right? He had 14 kick returns for touchdown? Are you kidding me? Oh, fair catches. I was like, gee whiz. Okay, so that's wrong. Okay, so there's a bug in the game. Okay, that was freaking me out. All right, return statistics. 20. This is punt returns. 524. 5. Yeah. Okay, and 5. But still, 5 punt returns is pretty darn good. Those numbers are supposed to be reversed. I don't know if anybody's ever caught that, but that was going to give me a heart attack. All right, first team All-American, Garvey out of Maryland, James from Georgia, Edmund Laird out of Ball State, the fullback, Jenkins out of Rutgers, Brandon Gibb from Cal, and Sam Price from Texas, the wideouts and tight end. The lineman, Preston Riggs out of LSU, and Nathan Summers out of Boise State at the tackle. Kendall Finch from Miami, Ohio, Pat Munoz from Texas A&M at guard, and Tristan Windham of Oklahoma at center. Eldridge Elkins at kicker, and Harry Padgett, Ball State, not with Florida, but Ball State, Coach of the Year, 12-1, undefeated in conference. So congrats to Harry. Brad Griffin, Defensive Player of the Year out of Louisiana Monroe, and Garvey, Offensive Player of the Year. On the defensive side of the ball, Clayton Scott, Minnesota, and Frankie Fields of Vanderbilt, defensive ends. Daniel Johnson of Nebraska and Jason Thrasher from Army at defensive tackle. Ryan Sargent, Arizona, Claxton Hitt, South Carolina, and Chris Christensen, Buffalo at linebacker. Paul Mason of Northern Illinois and James Berube out of Nevada, Las Vegas at the corners. Josh Sandoval, Louisiana Monroe, free safety. And out of Western Kentucky, Abdul Chu, strong safety. Shane Henderson, punter, UCF, Central Florida. And we'll quickly run through second team. You can take a look at those here in the video. And second team defense. Let's see. I had a guy, my second string, my tight end from Michigan made it. Third team, Caleb Painter from Texas. There's my quarterback, third team All-American. Rob Shipman, one of my receivers at Air Force, third team All-American. I got to give my guys props. I'm the one doing the radio show. So, hey, if you don't like it, tell me you'll join in and you can give your own players props. Ha ha. All right, third team defense right there. A lot of Texas Tech and Rutgers guys. I guess that Myro guy does know how to coach after all. All right, well, that's the awards. So let's get into the rankings, and we want to go to the GDCS. So, well, actually, you know what? Let's back up just a little bit. Let's go into the bowl games. All right, so ACC title, Maryland over Georgia Tech, 45-23. They go undefeated again. They get the number one seed in the playoffs again. They're the odds-on favorite to win another national title again. All right, now let's worry about the other teams that are going as conference champions. Rutgers, 34-9 winners over Cincinnati to finish 12-1 on the season. 5 losses for a Cincinnati team. That's got to be probably close to a all-time high in single-season losses for Cincinnati. Ohio State over Wisconsin, 45-3. Okay. I'd like to petition that Michigan be able to move to the other division, and then at least we could be in the championship game. Texas Tech and Oklahoma, 32-25 Texas Tech. Oklahoma back in the title game yet again, continuing their strong tradition. Conference USA, Bowling Green edged Rice. Not an upset per se if you look at the record, but Rice was ranked number in the top 25. Bowling Green was not. But Bowling Green gets the automatic bid out of Conference USA. Ball State had to go to overtime, surprisingly, to edge Buffalo, 22-19. And that's actually good, as they were in the running for probably an at-large bid had they lost. Air Force, 40-24 winners over New Mexico. They went undefeated in the conference again, and I think based on the vote that we had, this will be their last season in the Mountain West. Don't remember where they're moving, Conference USA maybe, but they're packing up their air attack and heading somewhere next year. So a little bit harder road, but a good run for them in the Mountain West, representing that conference. They've come a long way since I took them over. Oregon surprises USC. That was destined to be a good game. I mean, you've got 12-0 USC, 10-2 Oregon. That was destined to be a good game, and I'm really surprised it was that lopsided, 27-10. USC still gets probably I haven't looked at the playoffs, but I am guessing that they still got an at-large bid. So there goes one of the at-large bids. Florida, boy, they started off the season. Remember, we were talking about a down year for Florida, and look, they end up 10-2 and then beat Ole Miss in the SEC title game, 26-6. So Harry's heading back to the postseason with the Gators as well. And Louisiana Monroe, strong season for them, and they take down Middle Tennessee State 31-26. So if we jump over to the ratings, here we go. So Maryland, Ohio State, Rutgers. Now Florida got the SEC championship win, but Alabama was ranked above them. Interesting. And I don't even, there's Ole Miss. So yeah, Ole Miss finishes 11th, but they were in the title game. Alabama sits 4th. This is one of those things that I've looked at with Texas, for example, over the years. Sometimes it's better to be second in your division and not make the title game if there's a possibility for a loss. Now, Ole Miss still ended up in front of Texas. We moved up from 14 to 12. I do know that we made the playoffs. Michigan, however, dropped 12 to 13, that one spot, and they were kept out of the postseason. So had Ole Miss won that game with Florida, Florida was sitting 10. It's very likely that Michigan would have been in the postseason as well, the playoffs, but Florida's victory knocks Michigan out of that. So let's take a look at the actual postseason setup. And I'm trying to figure out where the best place to see this would be. I guess right here. All right, so Maryland gets the 1 seed. Louisiana Monroe comes in at the number 16 seed as the Sun Belt champions. Ohio State, number 2. Bowling Green, the champions out of their conference, get the number 15 seed. Air Force gets the 14 seed to get Rutgers. Congrats, Air Force, on another on imitating Hawaii in early first-round departure. Alabama gets the at-large bid. Well, no, did they? All right, hold on. I got to come back to this. SEC. Yeah, so they didn't even make the title game. Interesting. All right. So now I want to come back to here. And we want to look at the top 20, at the top 25. So Alabama did not even make the conference championship game, yet they get the 4 seed. And they get number 13 seeded Ball State, number 16 in the country. That's only an 8-point spread. You would think Alabama will roll there, but you know, you never know what Harry can pull with his skills. And speaking of Harry, there he is with Florida in the next game, the 5 seed against the number 14 ranked and 12 seeded Texas gets the at-large. USC gets an at-large, and they're a number 6 seed over Ole Miss, ranked number 9. Texas Tech gets Cal in the, yeah, thanks for doing me a favor bowl. And Oregon and Oklahoma in another tight matchup. And then we get into the bowl games. So we're not going to cover those. This was all about the playoff wrap-up. Let's see. I'm going to project here. Maryland is going to win that game. Ohio State, Rutgers. I'm going to call the upset here. I'm going to pick Ball State in that game. I don't know that they will, but I'm going to call it anyway. Florida is going to get past Texas. I would love to upset Harry, but I don't think I've got it this year. I'm going to go with USC in this one. It should be a close game, only a 2-point spread. I don't know how you go against Cal as many big games as they've won. I think this is the year Myrle gets out of the first round, or maybe the second year he gets out of the first round, and he'll do it with both teams. That was going to be close, though, so that'll be interesting. And I'm going to call Oregon, again, in a very close game, but I'm going to give Oregon the edge over Oklahoma. I would like to see Oklahoma win and Texas Tech just for Big 12 pride, but hey, you know, that's what I think is going to happen. And yeah, I don't have the bracket laid out in front of me, so I don't know who's going to advance to face who. I'm going to make the call that Maryland's going to make the title game again this year. And let's see, they'll end up facing number 3, I think, if 3 advances. So, you know, does Rutgers get knocked out again? It's possible. You know, Rutgers' second round game might be against, you know, a team in this range here. So Rutgers could get knocked out second round. I just don't see anybody really giving fits. I'm going to call Maryland Ohio State. Not going out on a limb, of course, calling chalk 1 versus 2. But I just don't see a whole lot of teams that are gonna you know, give them any problems. Maryland boasts the number 1 offense, number 8 defense. Ohio State number 12 offense, number 5 defense. And I think both defenses will get torched in that game. Have the worst game statistically they have all season. And, you know, I don't know who's going to win that game. I hate Ohio State just in general. I've come to hate Maryland in the WWCF universe. So I don't care. I won't watch the title game. I'll probably watch women's lingerie football that weekend. Just, you know, because I can't deal with another Maryland-Ohio State title. So anyway, that's my call here on WWCF Radio. This has been RC. Thanks for checking it out. Good luck to all the playoff teams. Good luck to those teams in their bowl games. And right around the corner, before you know it, we'll be kicking off season number 27 of WWCF football. Take care. Bye.